İznik is a town and an administrative district in the province of Bursa, Turkey. It was historically known as Nicaea, from which its modern name also derives. The town lies in a fertile basin at the eastern end of Lake İznik, bounded by ranges of hills to the north and south. As the crow flies, the town is only 90 kilometers southeast of Istanbul, but by road it is 200 kilometers around the Gulf of Izmit. It is 80 kilometers by road from Bursa. The town is situated with its west wall rising from the lake itself, providing both protection from siege from that direction, as well as a source of supplies which would be difficult to cut off. The lake is large enough that it cannot be blockaded from the land easily, and the city was large enough to make any attempt to reach the harbor from shore-based siege weapons very difficult. The city was surrounded on all sides by 5 kilometers of walls about 10 meters high. These were in turn surrounded by a double ditch on the land portions, and also included over 100 towers in various locations. Large gates on the 3 land-bound sides of the walls provided the only entrance to the city. Today the walls are pierced in many places for roads, but much of the early work survives, and as a result it is a tourist destination. The town has a population of about 15,000. It has been a district center of Bursa province since 1930. It was in the district of Kocaeli between 1923 and 1927 and was a township of Yenişehir district between 1927 and 1930. The town was an important producer of highly decorated fritware vessels and tiles in the 16th and 17th centuries. History. For the history before the Ottoman conquest, see the article on Nicaea. In 1331, Orhan I captured the city from the Byzantines, and for a short period the town became the capital of the expanding Ottoman Emirate. The large church of Hagia Sophia in the center of the town was converted into a mosque and became known as the Orhan Mosque. A madrasa and baths were built nearby. In 1334 Orhan built a mosque and an imaret just outside the Yenişehir gate on the south side of the town. The Arab traveler Ibn Battuta stayed in Iznik at the end of 1331, soon after the capture of the town by Orhan. According to Ibn Battuta, the town was in ruins and only inhabited by a small number of people who were in the service of the Sultan. Within the city walls were gardens and cultivated plots, with each house surrounded by an orchard. The town produced fruit, walnuts, chestnuts and large sweet grapes. A census in 1520 recorded 379 Muslim and 23 Christian households, while a census taken a century later in 1624 recorded 351 Muslim and 10 Christian households. Assuming 5 members for each household, these figures suggest that the population was around 2,000. Various estimates in the 18th and 19th centuries give similar numbers. The town was poor and the population small even when the ceramic production was at its peak during the second half of the 16th century. The Byzantine city is estimated to have had a population of 20,000–30,000, but in the Ottoman period the town was never prosperous and occupied only a small fraction of the walled area. A succession of visitors described the town in unflattering terms. After his visit in 1779, the Italian archaeologist Domenico Sestini wrote that Iznik was nothing but an abandoned town with no life, no noise and no movement. In 1797, James Dalloway described Iznik as a wretched village of long lanes and mud walls. Most of the remainder of the town was destroyed during 1921 in the Greco-Turkish War. The population became refugees and many historical buildings were damaged or destroyed. Pottery and tiles. The town became a major center with the creation of a local faience pottery making industry during the Ottoman period in the 16th century. Iznik tiles were used to decorate many of the mosques in Istanbul designed by Mimar Sinan. However, this industry declined in the 17th century and Iznik became a mainly agricultural minor town in the area when a major railway bypassed it in the 19th century. Currently the style of pottery referred to as the Iznik is to some extent produced locally, but mainly in Kütahya, where the quality, which was in decline, has been restored to its former glory. Surviving monuments. A number of monuments were erected by the Ottomans in the period between the conquest in 1331 and 1402, when the town was sacked by Timur. Among those that have survived are Hasi Özbek Mosque. This mosque was built only 3 years after the conquest. The portico on the west side of the building was demolished in 1940 to widen the road. Yeşil Mosque of Iznik Green Mosque. The mosque was built for Kandili Kara Halil Hayreddin Pasha, the first Grand Vizier of the Ottoman Empire. It is located near the Lefki Gate on the east side of the town. It was damaged in 1922 during the Greco-Turkish War and restored between 1956 and 1969. Nilüfer Hatch'ın Soup Kitchen. The building was abandoned for many years but was restored in 1955 and is now a museum. Süleyman Pasha Madrasa. This is one of the 2 surviving madrasas in the town. It was restored in the 19th century and again in 1968. Mausoleum of Kandili Hayreddin Pasha. The main room contains 15 sarcophagi. A lower room contains 3 more sarcophagi, including that of Hayreddin Pasha. The mausoleum is located in a cemetery outside the Lefki Gate to the east of the town. Several monuments survived into the 20th century, but were destroyed during the Greco-Turkish War. These include Church of the Koimisis, Dormition. This was the only church in the town that was not transformed into a mosque. It was decorated with 11th century Byzantine mosaics, of which photographs survive. Ezrif Said Rumi Mosque. Ezrif Said Rumi was married to the daughter of Hasibe Rumiveli. He founded a Sufi sect, and after his death in 1469–70 his tomb became a pilgrimage site. The mosque was decorated with Iznik tiles. Seyh Kubeden Mosque and Mausoleum. The mausoleum has been rebuilt. Sport. The Iznik Ultra Marathon is a 130 km trail endurance running event that takes place around Lake Iznik in April since 2012 as the country's longest single-stage athletics competition. International relations. Twin towns. Sister cities. Iznik is twinned with Larissa, Greece.